Hello and welcome. Today I'm going to give you my impressions on Plants vs. Zombies Battle for Neighborville. Don't forget, if you like this video, please click the like button. Please subscribe to my YouTube channel. First, let's have a look at the characters that are included in this game. As you can see, you got your standard pea shooter, which has been in all the Garden Warfares. You got your Chomper. Next up, we have Colonel Corn, which was introduced in the last game. Next up, we have a newcomer. We have Nightcap, who has a majority of his attacks are melee. Next up, we have another new character called Snapdragon. And next, we have the return of the Cactus. Next up, we have the return of Citron from the last game. Next up, we have another newcomer called Acorn, which has a oak tree, like similar to the Imp with their robots. Next up, we have the Sunflower, which was in all of the Garden Warfare so far. And last in the plants section, we have Rose, which is introduced in Garden Warfare 2. Alright, now let's go over to the zombie side. First up, we have Engineer, which was in both of the previous Garden Warfares. As you can see, his attacks, special attacks have changed for this game. Next up, we have the Foot Soldier. Next up, we have the Imp, which was introduced in the last game. Alright, coming up next, we have Super Brains, which was also introduced in the last game. He is a melee-centered character. Next up, we have a newcomer on the zombie side, the 80s Action Star. Next we have Electric Slide, which is another new character for this game. Next we have Captain Deadbeard, which was introduced in the last game. He is more like the Cactus. He's like a sniper. And he also has the parrot attack drone. Next up, we have the return of All-Star. Next up, we have another newcomer on the zombie side, the Space Cadet Zombie. And last on the zombie side, we have the Scientist. As you can see from the characters that are in this game, there are a few characters missing from the last game, such as Torchwood and the Goat that were introduced later on in Garden Warfare 2. Another thing that you will notice that is missing is the addition of the character variants, such as the Fire Pea, Ice Pea, your different cactuses, and all your other different characters. They are not in this game, which is a very, very big disappointment because they did add a lot of variety to the characters and the game. So that is a very, very bad thing I feel about this game because, you don't really get that option of, playing with the different characters. So it's very disappointing, like I said, for this game. One character that I am kind of hoping that they do add that's been in a lot of the other games but has never been playable would be the Robot Soldier, as pictured right here, as you can see. I do hope that, with the lack of variants, that this game will be the game that does introduce a lot of new different characters. As you can see from all the characters I did show you, we did get 6 new characters so far. But I feel like there's a lot of potential with this game to just add a whole bunch of different new characters to this game. So hopefully we will, get some more characters added to this game, or get our variants back for our characters that we do currently have. In addition to PvP modes where you get to play competitively against other people, you do get an open world such as the backyard from the last game. You do also get, for the plants, you get Sundrop Hills, and you also get Mount Steep. Both of these maps, as well as the ones for the zombies, will give you missions. You also get gnome hunting, chest hunting, as well as other hunts where you can get costumes and other things for your characters. Like I said, these do give you 3 missions, and then you get a boss battle. So they do add a little bit of extra fun outside of competitive play. On the zombie side of things, outside of the competitive play, you get 2 maps in addition to the open world area where you can practice. You do get, on the zombie side of things, you get Pressure Pier, which, as of writing this review impression, it is not available yet, since this is the founder edition of this game. In addition to Pressure Pier, you also get Weirding Woods, and like I did say, you do get missions on these maps where you do 3 missions, and then you do a final boss battle. And you also, like I said, you get chest hunting, gnome hunting. You get all kinds of additional, completion missions where you're hunting for treasures. For the rewards on this game, instead of the normal from the last 2 games where you bought packs of cards, you do have this Rewardotron 9000 machine where you spend 30,000 coins to get 1 capsule, and you only get 1 part or 1 costume or 1 gesture for either your plant or your zombie. So I do feel like this reward system, is not as good as the ones in the previous games, because you are spending 30,000 coins just to get 1 piece for your characters to customize it. So I feel like this is very unbalanced, and I feel like it's a lot of money and game coins to ask for just to get basically one sticker from the previous game. So I do feel like this system is extremely broken. While I am talking about the stickers, I do want to mention the Garden Ops mode on this game. Like the previous games where you had to get stickers to get the defense things, you do not on this game. All you do is just plant what you get, and then you have like a cooldown period of 2 minutes till you can plant that particular plant again, which I do feel is very broken, because while the sticker packs were annoying from the previous games, I do feel like they were a better option, where you actually could plant multiple Gatling peas or multiple of one thing without having to wait for a cooldown, or if you did lose one in the battle, you could just replant it, where on this one you do have to wait for the end of the round to put another thing in the pot once it is ruined. And on that note, I'd also like to mention that I feel like the potted plants and defenses are very underpowered in this game, and you do lose them rather quickly when you do use them. So I feel like they're very ineffective, and I would really hope that they, finally get rid of this Rewardotron, maybe use it for special items, and maybe go back to a sticker pack system where you are just trying to work to complete the sticker book rather than just getting random parts. And sometimes you spend 30,000 coins and you only get a gesture, which is very disappointing after you use all your hard-earned game time just to get a gesture. Alright, now let's talk about the gameplay. And This game is a lot of fun because, I mean, any Plants vs. Zombies game is very fun, especially the Garden Warfare series. Like I said, this game does have a few issues with it, but I feel like those issues could easily be resolved by EA, so, and Pop Games. So, I would just like to start talking about the gameplay aspects. I do feel that a lot of the characters right now, especially in the Founders Edition, are very underpowered or very overpowered. Especially on the zombie side, I do feel like these are very underpowered, and you know, I don't feel like it's a very fair fight usually, but since the game first just came out, I do feel like they have fixed some of the balancing issues that are in the game, but I do feel like there is some ways to go. You do, right now, as of writing this impression and review, you do get garden ops. Like I said, though, you do not get to use the stickers that you did accumulate because they did eliminate the sticker system from this game. You also get, right now there is a turf takeover and team vanquish. And there is also a mixed mode that was introduced where there was suburbanation and gnome bomb. However, as of writing right now, those are not available, but I do feel like in a few weeks, once the final game does come out, those modes will be readily available and playable. Right now, I do feel, like I said, the plants are very overpowered, and, you know, especially some of the newer plants, because I feel like maybe those were not, you know, really used in the other games, so therefore they're not really balanced from that game. I do feel like some of the modification they did make to some of the characters, such as the Citron, with you only being using your L2 for your shield and not being able to shoot, where you put on the other games. Also, I do feel like the modifications that they did make to the engineer with changing all of his special attacks, I do feel like some of those maybe, you know, they were better in the previous games. Like, especially, you know, you just get the sentry turret in this one, where the other one, you were kind of like the pea shooter with the Gatling gun. So, overall, though, like I said, this game is very fun, and, you know, you do get a wide variety, but I would really like to see the sticker packs brought back, and I also would like to see the variants for the characters, so you get that added, you know, variety to the game. And I feel like there's a lot of potential with this game to make it a lot more fun and to add a lot more characters, you know, ones that people are not expecting to see in Plants vs. Zombies Garden Warfare game. But I do feel like, you know, especially if you look at Plants vs. Zombies 2 for mobile, I feel like there are tons of plants on that game which could easily be turned into characters for this game. On the map aspect, right now, the maps that you do play the game modes in, they are just twists on areas on the map currently. I do feel like, you know, there is potential to add other maps that are not directly related to areas on the open world map. But, I mean, they do, you know, add a lot of variety to it, but I do feel like there's a lot of potential, like, with the maps that are available as well. I do like the costume aspect of the character customization. As you can see, this is the pea shooter costume that was offered as part of the Founder Edition. Overall, I feel like this game right now, in its current state, I would probably give it about an 8 out of 10 because of the issues that are in the game. But once those issues are fix with this game, if they are ever fixed, I do feel like this game could potentially easily be a 10 out of 10 because it is a very fun shooter. Even though it's geared towards children, I do feel like it is very well accessible to adults as well. And I do feel like, you know, especially like for me, I'm not the best at like Call of Duty and competitive shooters like that, but I feel like on this aspect, especially with the previous Plants vs. Zombies Garden Warfares, I am actually relatively decent at this game, and I do feel like, you know, that is something that is highly motivating for me, and, you know, maybe for other people out there that aren't the best at other competitive shooter games, but with the way that this game is set up, I do feel like it does give more people out there the chance to be, you know, competitive and actually be decent at a shooter game. So thank you for watching, and please click the like button and please subscribe to my YouTube channel.